All right, welcome to Plans Our Book, to podcast for every reader. I'm Stephanie Blackburn, and today I am joined by first-time debut author Kat Stoddard. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Tell everyone off the bat, your book is coming out June 30th.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Everyone's gonna pre-order it or make their book clubs order it.
Or request it from your local library.
Yes.
Also good.
Obviously, yes. I think that this is going to be a perfect beach read, pool read, flight read. I think the length is perfect for that. And also the like chapter length is perfect for like you're at the beach, you're getting too hot, you need to go dip in the water, you come back, continue. I'd like to first talk about what your childhood relationship to reading and writing was like. What were the books that you were so into as a kid? Were you a library kid? Were you a Scholastic Book Club kid? Tell us your childhood relationship to books.
I was definitely a library kid. I remember going to the library with my mom growing up, like from a very young age, and bringing home like pounds and pounds of books,
The
just like
maximum.
tote bags stuffed to the brim with books. So I had a really wonderful start in that way. My mom was always reading with me, and I learned to read really early, and that was just something I could do independently and kind of vanish into those worlds. And I have so many good memories of different books growing up. One of the first books that I remember really like sticking in my mind as like probably not a young adult, I don't know, probably around like 10, was Wish of Blackbird Pond.
Don't
Um,
know it.
I'm trying to remember the author's name. I had like a mass market paperback copy of it. It's definitely like geared toward probably middle grade audiences, though I don't think that category existed back in the 90s. um, but it's set in like New England in like the Puritan era, and there's this like complicated friendship happening, and also like I think a love triangle probably. I really remember that one like being one of the first times I was like, okay, I kind of see how people are like constructing these stories, you know? And then I remember being probably like 13 or 14 on vacation with my family. And we went to a bookstore, of course. You always go to the local bookstores when you're traveling. I bought Pride and Prejudice. That was my pick. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen.
At what
And
age?
I was probably like 14.
Whoa, good for you.
And I remember just like being absolutely absorbed. I didn't like leave where I was sitting for the next, I don't know, 24 hours or however long it took me to read it. I was completely engrossed. And that was the first time I remember thinking, okay, this is a novel. This is what a novel can be. And like that's still that like comedy of manners style is still so influential, I think, in my writing now, so many years later. So, though I will say I do enjoy Mansfield Park and Emma even more than Pride and Prejudice, possibly controversial take.
My cat's name is Mr. Bingley. So.
I love that so much. My cat, one of them is named Oscar after Oscar Wilde. Always love a literary cat name.
Yeah. Okay, so were you just reading, or were these sort of inspiring you to like create little kid stories of your own? When did you like really start to like put pen to paper?
I definitely started at a young age. I think I would do the thing where you find a book or a series that just like really inspires you, and then you like rip it off. Like, right, let's say an homage to it. So I did that as a kid a lot and as a teenager. And I think I got kind of burned out in my early 20s, like after college, and I didn't do a lot of creative writing for about 8 or 9 years. And then picked it back up in my around like 29, 30 probably. Maybe a little before that, my late 20s. And that was just sort of a way for me to kind of reclaim that part of myself. And it was like a really healing experience before I even had aspirations of getting published at all. It was just like a real joy to kind of rediscover that part of myself and that creative practice.
What are the books that like you gravitate towards now as an adult? Or is there like a genre that you're like, this is all I'm reading? Or,
A lot of, I mean, I still read a lot of classics, but I think generally what I'm reading now, I would just say it's like contemporary
Mm-hmm.
fiction. I love reading, like I love a campus novel. I have a
Mm-hmm.
whole shelf of them behind me. And I just enjoy anything that's about relationships with the focus,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's romantic or platonic, familial relationships. I just love how different people approach that and seeing what points of view different writers will take and different craft tools they'll use to kind of bring what they're exploring to the reader. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
I always love kind of analyzing that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a lot of, messy characters. And I love like a book about like a bad marriage,
Mm-hmm.
for totally impersonal reasons, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy anything with people that you can understand why they're making the terrible decisions that they're making.
Mm-hmm. So I obviously this episode is coming out in June, but we are now recording in April. I got my hands on your copy of Wasp's Nest at work because I work at a bookstore, and we had an ARC on the table, and I picked it up. Let's show anyone who's actually watching. I picked it up because of the cover, and Molly, one of our other hosts, was going on a trip. So I handed it off to her as like a plane read because she can read an entire book on a plane trip.
That's impressive.
And she handed it back to me and goes, "You're going to love this." And it's because she and I love messy family dramas. There is something about being a voyeur with no skin in the game who gets to watch people make mistakes and fix things and make things worse and all the great family drama. What was the first kernel of this book that came to you? Like, was it a character that came to you or a conversation? How did this beautiful debut come into your consciousness?
Thank you so much, first of all. I the book was initially inspired by the Philadelphia Story, the movie from 1940, a classic. I recommend it to anyone and everyone. I think I've made all of my friends watch it at least once. Anyway, so that like triangulated dynamic, like the love triangle, was totally like the main inspiration and kind of what I was able to sink my teeth into first. And I always start with relationships when I'm writing. That's always kind of what gets my brain working, I guess. And the way that I had this idea for somebody who's getting remarried, this woman, her ex-husband, and then this other guy who's just like in the mix for no particular reason. He's there. I refer to him as the interloper sometimes. He has no real reason to be around, but he is like creating all sorts of problems for everyone. And I think like when I started actually writing the book, which was back in 2021, the character of Mitch, who's that interloper character, like jumped off the page almost immediately, like fully formed. And that was something that I kind of had to get the other characters up to that level because
Mm-hmm.
he was so clear to me from the very beginning. He's just such a
Interesting.
lovable weirdo.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think, sorry, maybe I should have already said, let's give the listeners just like a little synopsis about this book, because otherwise they're not going to be as all in with us. Do you want to do it?
Sure. So the book is set in Cape Cod, or on Cape Cod, I'm sorry. It's over a week. There's a wedding happening. So you've got this woman named Tess who's getting married for the second time. You have her ex-husband named Peter, who's this artist. He kind of comes from a very different world. Like he had parents who worked for a living growing up. He grew up in Baltimore. Tess grew up in like high society, basically. Very wealthy parents. This home in Cape Cod is her second home, her family's second home. So she's getting remarried, and Peter ends up at the wedding. The week before the wedding, he gets an invitation. He's not sure who it's from. He decides to bring this guy he just met as his date. So we've got these three characters in this very high stress environment, which I really love. I love writing something that like there's a big event happening and the stories leading up to that. So like a wedding story is always
Mm-hmm.
really fun.
The title, Wasp's Nest.
Mm-hmm.
Was it purposeful to have that duality because the family members are so like stinging in moments, but then there's also the waspiness of it, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Yes.
Had you ever thought, like, was it always going to be Cape Cod? Because to me, that is like quintessential waspiness.
Yes.
Or that was like from the beginning, you were going to do Cape Cod?
Yeah, I mean it was inspired by the Philadelphia story, which is set along like the main line, which is not really the same culture anymore that it once was. This was, in the 40s, 30s, and 40s. So it's the same type of like high society setting, very, very like wealthy people who have this very insulated experience of the world. And then you have these people coming in, Mitch and Peter in this case, who don't come from this world and are seeing it through totally different eyes, not having been, raised in that environment. Cape Cod was pretty much from the beginning going to be the setting. I didn't really consider any other settings that I remember anyway. And I have this like memory growing up of attending like an extended family member's wedding on Cape Cod. I was probably 8 years old or something like that. And it was, by the water, big
Mhm.
tent on the lawn, dancing into the night, beautiful lights hanging everywhere. I have this like very vivid memory of that experience. That definitely was part of why I kind of picked that setting. I had a sense memory of it.
Hmm. I want to read. Granted, this could have changed. I hope it didn't, because I love this description of Cape Cod as someone who lives in Massachusetts. The hedges end, and the drive deposits them into a picturesque park-like environment. Lush green bushes and trees, meticulously manicured, cover the lawn in borders and clusters like stiffly piped buttercream on an overpriced cake. Bravo!
Thank you so much. That definitely hasn't changed. So most of the text you see is intact.
I I can't even like put like a real finger on what it was about this book that just like swallowed me up. It was I did not like Tess at the beginning. I mean, obviously I came around to her. She's got like sharp angles and edges,
Mhm.
and you just don't really know where you stand with her because it always feels like she is ready to attack type thing. And then you're feeling for Peter because you're like, what did this poor guy get into? Like, why did he go to this wedding that's probably going to hurt him? And I just want to protect him and his like artistness. And then Mitch, who I kind of pictured like he's along for the ride, and he's just like got his little note taking happening in his head, like how can I make characters out of this whole situation. It's like the perfect, like, I don't know, like math equation of like what works for there to always be someone off balance and on the edge of like making the wrong decision, but what if they make the right decision? And it just, I mean, it's not a long book, it's a quick read, and I absolutely loved it. Can we talk about the cover? Did you have
Yeah,
any say in that? Like,
I
how did that
did.
come about?
So we have an amazing cover designer in house at Celadon, the imprint I'm with. Her name is Erin Cahill. Love her. I was able to be a part of like the whole process, which was incredible. They presented two initial designs. This was pretty much one of them. The
Mm-hmm.
font changed, but that was really it. And the other design they presented had a couple pieces of art that I love, like I knew them before the
Mm-hmm.
design was shown to me. So I really felt like I was in good hands, like they understood
Yeah.
me and the book.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I like that cover it was the simpler of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And initially I was like, maybe I like the other one better, but this was like it's perfect. I feel like it has this like pre-storm haze quality to it,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
like really like that's a big part of the book, obviously. So
Well, and also there's because it looks like it's a painting. So there's also like the artist aspect to it, but it also
yes.
looks like it could just be like a watercolor of the actual pool. There's like different places you could put this in, and it
Yeah.
just works perfectly. Can you talk at all about your publishing journey and how, like, did you share this with friends and family before you decided, I think I'm going to query this? Like, what was your trajectory with this?
Yeah, I started writing it in 2021. I actually worked with a friend of mine who is a developmental editor because I wanted to do this for myself. Like I wanted to see, can I write this book? Can I query this book? Can I get this book published? So I took it really seriously, and I had kind of a routine, and was meeting with my friend Beth Weeks, who is also a writer, obviously. And I also had other people I was sharing the work with. My best friend Fern is a writer. I have a critique partner that I actually met through Reddit, who we've been sharing work for, I don't know, 3, 4 years at this point. So I have these like pretty long-standing relationships with other creative people, which is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all a big part of why I was able to kind of stay motivated, I think, because it's a hard thing to do. If I had kind of known how hard it was going to be when I started, like especially writing 3 points of view, that was wild as a choice for a debut novel, I think. But I didn't overthink it because I was like, sure, I could do this, and I did. So
I think that happens a lot where you go into something and you don't really know what you're doing, so you're just having fun with it, and
right.
then this amazing thing happens. Whereas if you had known like how difficult it was going to be, maybe you would have like you I don't know, you wouldn't have come out with this perfect thing at the end, you know? You would
Yeah,
have like bubble wrapped it a little bit or something.
definitely. Like I was not being cautious or precious about the process at all. Like I took it seriously, but I definitely had a ton of fun with it. And I think those elements of, sharing the work and collaboration throughout, like, pre-pub and then with my agent and my editor, and everyone at my publisher, that's been such an injection of like energy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really grateful because writing is so solitary so much of the time. But when you can find people who kind of get what you're doing and can help you match what you have with the vision that you have for it, so it has the impact that you're hoping for, that's just such a special thing. And I'm really grateful I've had so many people like that in my life.
Mm-hmm. What is the plan for pub day?
Yeah, I live in Baltimore. We've got a couple of Baltimore events planned. I'm also going to be visiting Cape Cod. I took a research trip there while I was writing the book, but I haven't been back since. And we're going to do an event there, so that'll be really fun. I'm going to do an event in DC and maybe a couple other ones like throughout the summer and the fall. I'll be sharing more details, but we've got like a good little tour planned. I'm really excited to meet readers, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you come close to the Boston area at all, reach out because I
I
would
will I will let you
love
know.
to come and support.
That would be so fun.
I wish that you like already had news about it being made into a TV show because that's my dream is like to have this. Let's talk about the art for a second.
Yeah.
Were you already sort of into art before you got into this, or did you just decide Peter being an artist is what's going to work the best for this and then research it? How did you sort of come to like the like organic way that he is clearly meant to be an artist?
I do have some experience drawing and painting specifically. Just like I took classes when I was in high school and college and like minored in art. It wasn't something that I was ever like putting like career eggs in the basket or whatever with, but it was something that I understand on kind of a visceral level. I think oil paints in particular, which is Peter's medium, so that made it easy in that sense. Like I had
Mm-hmm.
some experience with it. I did not have experience with working as an adjunct or being a working artist or anything like that, so I spoke with people who were.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was like picking a job is always like one of the earlier things I try to do for a character because money is really important
Mm-hmm.
and that shapes your, entire experience of the world. So figuring out where these people live, what they're paying for rent, what kind of grocery stores they're going to, whether they can afford to eat out, if they have a
Mm-hmm.
car or take public transport, all that stuff is tied up in the economic reality of,
Mm-hmm.
what job or jobs they have. So that was definitely like an early decision. And the connection between Tess having been his agent when they met, that was how she kind of pitched herself
Mm-hmm.
before they entered a romantic relationship. That kind of like personal, professional blurring of the lines was really fun to play around with
Mm-hmm.
too. And then Mitch being a writer or an aspiring writer, they have this commonality, he and Peter, between wanting to have this creative life and wanting to share work with somebody who really gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big part of why everyone in the book is attracted to Peter. I mean, specifically Tess and Mitch, but he has this really singular way of seeing the world because he
Mm-hmm.
brings himself as an artist to it. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, and along your lines of the whole economics behind a character, I mean, if Mitch was anything more than a like a server at a
Mhm.
restaurant, he wouldn't have said yes to this because this is going to lead him to something that's going to get him up and out of this sort of like day-to-day like slog of being a server and him
Mhm.
wanting more. I just loved each of these characters for very different reasons. And at first I was like, how could Peter and Tess possibly have worked together? They seem, I mean, when we meet them at the week before her wedding, it's like there's no way. These two characters are so different. And then you come to find how they did work temporarily together and fall in love. And oh God, it was so good. Um, are you working on anything new related or not related to Wasp's Nest?
Have had people ask if I like would be writing a sequel, and the answer is definitely no.
Mhm.
Not because I'm anti-sequel, but just because the book is like these characters are so complete to
Complete.
me.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I don't feel the need to, kind of look past where the book ends and see where they
Hmm.
end. Like I have ideas, but I've been working on a couple different books. Right now I'm working on something that is set in the Midwest. It's sapphic. It's set at an artist residency. So
Okay.
some similar, like,
Theme.
yeah, yeah, I do love an artist. Similar themes of like, creative work and also kind of a confined space that people
Hmm.
are in. So there's like a higher stakes element to that. And like I have family in the Midwest. I love the Midwest. Mitch being from the Midwest was such like
Hmm.
that was an early decision for me. I was like, this boy's from Missouri. There is no question about that.
Hmm.
So I'm really enjoying working on that right now.
That feels like similar shades to Wasp's Nest because being contained in like a compound on the Cape or an artist compound, I mean, it forces like not real physical boundaries, but like you're trapped together. So stuff is going to happen and you're going to have to deal
Exactly.
with it instead of running away from it. When you are writing something, do you read it all or do you have to focus solely on what you are working on? Like are you able to sort of compartmentalize and like read books for fun in the evening or are you just like head down in it until you're done?
That's a really good question. I'm definitely always reading. I don't have an issue with like my voice really being influenced. Just I don't think I'm not reading books that are like super duper similar. Like when I was writing Wasp's Nest, obviously like thinking about querying it, you're thinking about comps and stuff like that. But I made sure I had like two drafts under my belt before I read anything that was set at a Cape Cod wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Like Seating Arrangements by Maggie Shipstead, which I love. Kind of a similar plot situation. Like you have this waspy family at a wedding and shenanigans ensue. But I wanted to read that, but I waited until I knew, like, had a really clear idea of what my book was going to be before I read that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm always reading. Like, I think that really inspires me to
Mm-hmm.
write, honestly. Like, when I'm feeling stuck with a project, it's usually because I haven't been reading enough and I haven't
Mm-hmm.
been letting that kind of feed me as a writer. And a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll pick up like a book that I have read and, a long time ago or like a classic book, something that has like a decent amount of distance
Mm-hmm.
from the project I'm working on, but still like I definitely need that like component to my writing
Mm-hmm.
life. I know some people are not able to compartmentalize, I guess. I don't even think of it as being compartmentalization just because it's all connected for
Mm-hmm.
me. It's all it's all part of the like the writing life, I think.
Mm-hmm. Um, do you have a TV film agent?
I do. It's with my my agency, so it's
Okay, good.
that was pre-existing there. We've talked about the possibility of like maybe a movie. I think it would be a good candidate for that.
The
So
three of us are big TV movie watchers,
Yeah.
but I think like the last couple of years we've become very like we'll read something and be like, why hasn't that been made into? You know, like you can I feel like when you've read enough, you just know when a good story would translate
Yeah.
onto screen. And granted, there are some that we've read and been like, I'm not sure they could ever do that justice.
Right.
But this is the kind of thing that I think they could do justice. And I think people, I mean, who doesn't love like a messy family TV drama? Like
Exactly.
six episodes or 90 minutes. I'm fine with either, but
I'll pass that along. No, I totally agree. Like not every amazing book is a good candidate for adaptation, but I love that like again, like that collaboration between somebody who's adapting it and the original work. There's so
Mhm.
much like fun stuff you can get into and
Yeah.
changes that you can make to highlight different things and then you get into, casting characters and stuff like that and it really can
Mhm.
bring a new dimension to a story that you already love.
Well, I don't know if you've seen our Instagram. We're obsessed with Heated Rivalry and
As am I.
like maybe not on the healthiest level. But that is the only adaptation that we can recall at least that stuck to the source material. So Jacob Tierney, like basically just not that he copied and pasted, but he knew the author, Rachel Reed, had done this thing that fans were rabid for. And instead of like tweaking it like a lot of adaptations end up doing, he just was like, this is good. This is perfect as is. I'm sticking with this and just bringing it to life. And so I would hope whoever might be listening, the same could be done for Wasp's
Yeah,
Nest.
I would love to see that. That would be, the honor of my life.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to cross everything. Um, what are you currently reading right now?
So I have my books next to me so I don't forget. Um,
Fantastic.
Reading some short stories, The Office of Historical Corrections by Daniel Evans. And I haven't read any Daniel Evans before,
Me neither.
but I am loving these stories. I feel like I'm discovering a new like favorite author right now, which
Are
is so
they
fun.
are they related to each other or are they completely
They're,
individual?
I believe they're individual. Like there's definitely thematic connections happening, but they so far I think they're not like interlinked. They're not like a
Okay.
novel in stories or anything like that. But they're just like they're so vibrant and like I'm just having so much fun reading them.
And inspiring maybe?
Yes, definitely. And then I'm also reading Harmless by Miranda Schulman, which
Oh,
is
I've seen that cover. Yep.
gorgeous book. I'm not even an olive girly, and I want to eat olives. Looking at this book cover, it's about these three women who are kind of navigating the aftermath of a loss, and they're planning on opening like a dog kennel together. And I know
Mm-hmm.
things are going to get really messy. Um, it's weird girl lit, I guess, is
Mm-hmm.
like the subcategory.
Is that an actual subcategory? I love that if it
I
is.
think it's like I think it's how people are describing, I guess, a subset of like literary fiction. I'm finding it just absolutely delightful, and I know it's going to get absolutely so messy and dramatic, which I'm very excited for. But her prose is wonderful, and this is a debut as
I
well, so
love that.
it just came out. Definitely recommend reading it.
Okay. I am currently reading this. Do you follow Simon Sitz on Instagram?
No, I do not.
Okay. So Isabel Klee fosters dogs. That is what her whole account basically is about. She has a dog named Simon, and that's why it's called Simon Sits. This book is basically how she is weaving stories of her foster dogs in with dating disasters throughout her
That's
20s.
an
And
incredible concept.
I've cried multiple times. Like last night. Last night I was lying, trying to stay awake because it's almost midnight, and I'm like, just one more chapter, just one more chapter. So I'm on my side, and the eye that was pressed to the pillow, I happened to lean back at one point and saw like just a puddle of tears.
We've all been there.
So that is what I'm reading right now.
That's a
I
great
just
pitch.
I think that for me, I'm someone who cries very easily. Always have. And there's something about like the release of that is like a good feeling. Maybe that
Mhm.
doesn't make sense to people, but I love when a book makes me cry.
Yeah. Oh my God, me too. All of my favorite books have made me cry at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes like devolving into a sobbing husk of a person in the best way. But yeah, the catharsis, it's
Ugh.
real.
But listeners, you don't have to worry about. Well, maybe unless it's not. Maybe I don't want to claim things for people. I didn't, Paul. But I still loved it, so it's okay. um, do you have anything else that you want to add for our listeners?
You can find me on Instagram. My handle is Kat Stoddard without the vowels. So Kat Stoddard was taken. You can find me there. I've got a newsletter that's linked there as well, which I post monthly. Yeah, I'm really excited to have this book out in the world and be able to talk to people about it. And I've heard from people that who have advanced copies that it's a great beach read or vacation read. So I'm glad that you're confirming that as well.
Cosign.
Yeah.
This is like the perfect summer. I mean, it's coming out at the beginning of summer, so hopefully people are gonna scoop up a copy from the library or
Wherever you
your
find
local
your
bookstore, independently owned bookstore. Pass this along to your friends.
yeah.
Anybody. This is gonna be. I'm I'm calling it. I'm just saying it right now. I think this is gonna be like the summer book.
That is so nice to hear. We've got a great audiobook coming out as well, which
Oh,
we'll release on
yay.
the same day. I was able to be involved in the casting process for that, which was
Oh.
so incredible. We have three different narrators for each of the points of view for Peter, Tess, and Mitch.
Did they
So
just send you audio and you were like yes or no?
yeah, we I guess they auditioned people. So we had about six people to maybe five or six for each character. We actually one of the narrators who auditioned for Mitch, we liked better for Peter. And then we had somebody who auditioned for Peter audition for Mitch, and like it was a better fit that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we found like the perfect cast, and it was so
That's
cool to
so
see that come
cool.
together. Yeah.
Oh, so have you like listened to it the whole way through just because?
I did. And it was such a surreal experience because like at this point it's like starting to feel real that I have a book coming out. Um like being in like copy edits and stuff, I was still like, okay, it's on a computer. But once I got like the advanced reader copies, like, you know, the
Mm-hmm.
softback copy, and then the audiobook felt like it felt so real. Like I didn't necessarily write it. Like I did. I know I wrote this book, but it felt like somebody was like legitimizing it by
Mm-hmm.
reading it back to me. I could kind of distance myself from the fact that like I think when you're reading it on paper, I think a lot of writers like you're in edit mode.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to kind of turn that part of your brain off, even though it's like this is like we're pretty much ready to print this. So
Mm-hmm.
really you can't be editing because we're past that. But like once you're hearing a professional narrator read these lines, it feels very real.
Did
So
you get to any point where you're like, I wrote that? Like as you're listening?
definitely. And like I have a terrible memory. So a lot of the time I'll just be like I totally forgot that entire plot point. So another
That's
reason I could not
amazing.
write a sequel. I keep a lot of very detailed notes for myself, like throughout the drafting and revision process. I'm always like making spreadsheets and
Mm-hmm.
timelines and all that kind of stuff just to keep my literal story straight. Um, but yeah, it was very cool to like to hear that somebody else like
Yeah.
yeah yeah it's happening I
I
guess.
know we have some audio book listeners, so
Mm.
hopefully they will report back on how.
I think they're gonna like it.
Yay.
Yeah. It did actually make me cry by the end because
Oh.
which is maybe narcissistic of me, but it was very overwhelming.
No, I think that's a normal reaction. I would too. So
Yeah.
you're fine. Listeners, you can email us at plansarebbooked@gmail.com. Please reach out, DM us if you read this book and love it. We will pass on your thoughts to Kat, or you can just directly DM her. And until next time, our plans are booked.